From the heart of the city, where the beat meets the rhythm of your day, it's Shawna and LaLa.
What's up? You're listening to Shawna and LaLa. Check us out at Shawnaandlala.com, on all social media platforms at Shawna and LaLa. You could follow me on Instagram at TheRealShawnaMay.
And you can follow me at Bella_Lala125.
It has been a crazy week this week. We say that every week, but it really has been hectic. I mean, we took a week off because you actually went to Florida.
Yes, I went to Florida actually by myself with the baby. I mean, my dad and my stepmom did come along too. But, you know, I usually travel with my husband with the baby, so it was nerve-wracking, you know, going on the plane by myself with her, handling the suitcases, and then everything else that comes along with traveling with a baby. So, yeah, I had to go down there for my jaw surgery that I had recently, just as a checkup. And everything was good, but you know me, something always happens to me, right? Nothing ever goes smooth.
For either of us.
Nope, never. It's always something. Always something. So they were in my jaw, and they had to kind of even out some of my dental work because I was biting. My bite was off. So he had the drill in my mouth, and he was drilling. And all of a sudden, I feel something like hit the roof of my mouth. I'm like, what was that? You know, and they stop, and they're just really quiet. And I open my eyes, and they're just staring at each other. And he looks down at me, and he goes, don't swallow, don't swallow, don't swallow, don't. And he just kept saying it really fast. And I started panicking. Like, why? You know, what's going on? Did they cut my tongue off? Like, so he goes, sit up. So I sit up, and he's like, spit it out. Spit it out. I don't feel anything in my mouth, Shawna. I don't feel anything. And I'm like, like spitting, like spit. Just spit is dropping out of my mouth into the dentist's hand. He has his hand under my mouth. And I'm like, you know, nothing's there. And I'm like, what is it? And he's like, spit it out. I said, I don't feel anything. So he's like, lay down, lay down. So I lay down, and they're in my mouth. Like, they're digging with their fingers in my mouth, both of them, shining lights in there. She's like, do you feel it? I'm like, what? No. She's like, and so the dentist told me, close your throat off. So I'm like closing my throat.
I would be like, how do you do that?
I guess I just like tightened it. I'm like, you know, like put my tongue backwards. And then she put her finger in, and she's like, oh, there it is. And she found it. And I'm like, what was that? He goes, hold on a second. I need a minute to breathe. And he goes, the drill broke. The drill head broke off. Never happened to me before, but it broke off. I was like, oh my God. And in my mind, I'm picturing, if I would have pictured that, I would have thought it like would have cut my roof of my mouth. You know, like it was spinning so fast. I felt like it would have cut me, but it didn't. And he said, yeah, we would have had to send you to the emergency room in a few days to see if it came out, or like, you know, get an x-ray. I was like, oh God, I'm supposed to fly home tomorrow. So that wouldn't have been good. He's like, thank God we found it. He's like, that's never happened. So I left there laughing. I'm like, of course it happens to me. The only time it's ever happened, this guy has done thousands and thousands of surgeries, and I'm the one that it happens to. But anyway, everything else was perfect. It was my 3-month checkup. I have to go back in another few months. So, hey, I get little trips to Florida here and there to break up the year. I'll take it.
Did you go to the beach?
No, unfortunately, I did not. I was exhausted there. I don't know. The weather was really, really gloomy. It was very, very depressing weather there for Florida. I've never experienced that before. And I even lived in Florida. So very dark, very gloomy most of the days. And I did relax. So it was very relaxing of not doing anything. But for me, I get anxiety with that. You know, we went to the zoo one of the days and we went to restaurants. So that part, yeah. But no, I did not get to the beach. I'll have to wait for the next one. But I was staying at an Airbnb with a pool, and I was kind of a little nervous because we don't have a pool at home, and Giulina loves pools. So I'm like, how? You know, Florida homes, the living room opens up to the pool pretty much. There's a sliding door, and it'll go right to a pool. So
I think that's like standard.
Yeah. So there's no like gate, there's no fence, and the door didn't lock, the sliding door, which was, very weird. The lock was broken on it, so you had to put a piece of wood. So yeah, when I had that there, I didn't worry. But during the day with my dad and going in and out, and my stepmom going in and out, the wood wasn't there, you know. So I had to really keep on it. So what I brought the Nanit camera with me, as I always do when I travel, and I set it up right in the kitchen facing that sliding door. Just in case, like, hey, if I'm out front, or if I'm in my room, or if I'm in the bathroom, I'll know where Giulina is and if she goes out that door. And it worked, because I'd say, I don't even know how long it was set up. I was in my room going through my clothes, organizing things. It alerted me that there was movement, and it was little Giulina running right through the living room, opening the sliding door, because it's broke. It's not heavy. You could use your pinky and the thing would fly open,
Oh my God.
Yeah. And she ran out the door, and you see me flying behind her a little bit, and she wanted to go in the pool. So thank God I had the Nanit to alert me, because she could have fell in. She could have went in on her own, and I would have realized sooner or later that she wasn't with me, because I'm always, where are you? Where are you? Where are you? But that really got me there quickly. So thank God I had the Nanit camera. It's the perfect travel camera for peace of mind on vacations, especially Airbnbs like that, where it's a house and there's rooms and there's more space for them to roam, other than a little hotel room where they're safer,
Yeah, and a door is broken.
Yeah, of course. That was, but she's fine. Everything was good, and I'm just grateful I had it. And I tell everyone, if you're a traveling parent, the Nanit camera is perfect for that, because it. I put it right in my carry-on. The TSA didn't even care. I was worried. I'm like, are they going to be like, what is this? Nope. I left it in my luggage. They didn't even make me take it out. So
Really?
Yeah.
I'm shocked.
I know. They were fine with it. I mean, maybe another airport would be different, but Tampa didn't check, and Westchester didn't check, or didn't tell me to take it out.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, at least you had it. Thank God.
I know. But yeah, the trip was good. I mean, I lost my iPad on the plane. I've never done that before in my life, but I think I was just so stressed out having the baby by myself that I left it. Thankfully, I got it back too, but I had to make an extra trip back to the airport, which was not fun. I took Shawna with me, and I made her suffer with me.
It wasn't that bad.
No, just the traffic on I don't know. I felt like we were in the car forever on the way back.
And then Giulina, she's just had enough.
Oh yeah, she wasn't happy.
No, she wanted that iPad.
She was screaming and kicking, and oh, poor baby. But yeah. So I don't know if I'll travel alone with her until she's a little older, because I did it. I'm not going to say it was the hardest thing ever. I've done worse and harder things, but it was a lot. The airport situation was a little stressful.
And we have a code for our listeners. If you do want to purchase the Nanit camera off their website, we have a code for 20% off your entire purchase, and that code is Shawnaandlala 20, and it's 20 at the end. So my mom had her 50th high school reunion.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was insane. I can't believe how many people actually went. When our 10-year reunion was scheduled, it ended up getting canceled because nobody wanted to go. Nobody wanted to pay the money.
Mm-hmm.
But my mom had her 50th, and it was a full weekend long of activities.
That's insane.
Yeah.
It's cool in a way, but that's a lot.
It was a lot. It was Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday morning. And then Saturday, we also had our 175th anniversary for our town. And my mom and I sat on the committee for that. So we were just wiped out by the end of the weekend. So Thursday and Friday, we went to dinner with some of the people that she graduated high school with. And then I stayed at the town anniversary while she went to the actual dinner. And I had a blast at the town anniversary.
That's good.
It was so much fun. The fireworks were my favorite part, of course. They were 20 minutes long and had 3 grand finales.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy. So whoever they hired to do it did a fantastic job.
Yeah, and that costs a lot of money too. That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm thinking they probably spent a good few $1,000s.
Oh yes.
It was fantastic. And then Sunday morning we were up bright and early to go to breakfast with everyone, and breakfast was really good. So
where'd you go?
We went to the Edenville Deli, and it's one of my mom's classmates. Mm-hmm. She now owns it with her husband.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so it was really nice. The food was excellent, And if you're ever in the Warwick, Edenville area, check it out. Right now on the phone, we have Peter Shankman, who I have been wanting to have on the show for a very long time. I actually use his services, which was previously called Haro. Now it's called Sourceofsources. And I admire you, Peter, because you have dealt with a lot growing up. You have ADD, you have autism, and I just think that is amazing that you have a household name in the industry and you've dealt with adversities, growing up. I mean, I commend you because I think I have a little bit of ADD, and Lala definitely has ADD. And it's a struggle.
It's a big struggle. I can't see myself being successful in anything because of it. So it's really nice to see that how far you can come and beat the odds,
I appreciate that. That means a lot. Thank you. It's, a lot of it also has to do with understanding that if used correctly, it can be a gift. It can be a benefit if you understand how best to work with it.
Yes. I could see that because I was telling Shawna, I have to be under pressure. And when I'm under pressure, I could do anything.
Exactly.
Like anything, but I need that pressure every day to get through life, and and that doesn't happen. So,
yep.
Do you have any pointers for Lala and for our listeners that struggle?
I mean, I think I'm going to say read my book, but no, I think that at the end of the day, what it comes down to is really understanding yourself and understanding what you're great at, understanding what you enjoy doing, and spending as much time as possible doing that, right? If you can outsource stuff that you're not great at to other people, do that, right? But I am a huge fan of making sure that I love doing the stuff that I really enjoy, and I do that as much as possible. And then some of the stuff I don't enjoy, I either set a specific way to get it done so I know I'm going to focus on it, or just give it to someone else.
Yeah, I need that.
You need an assistant.
And I need to read the book.
That's the thing. I have a wonderful assistant who is very much in control of my life. She tells me what to do, where to do it, where to be, when to be there. That's huge. It's so important to have that, because if I try to do that, I know what like I said, I know what I'm good at, I know what I'm bad at. If I try to do that myself, I'm going to screw it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel you. I totally do.
And what is your book, by the way, so that we could all read it?
The book is called Faster Than Normal. And it's basically the concept that ADHD is a gift, not a curse, if you understand how to use it. So it's chock full of millions of ways to do things better, to live better with your life when you have ADHD.
Perfect. Honestly, we're going to order that for me. Yeah.
So how did you get into the journalism and the Haro, help a reporter out for everyone who doesn't know, and the new Sources of Sources?
It's Sourceofsources. So basically, I started Haro. ADHD means I talk to everyone, and one of the things about ADHD is that when you talk to everyone, you get a huge Rolodex, right? I let everyone talk to me. If you're on a plane next to me, unless you fake your death, I'm gonna know everything about you by the time we land. And so I had this huge Rolodex, and reporters knew that. And I used to work in journalism. I used to be a journalist. I started my career as a journalist. I helped launch the America Online newsroom back in the 90s when AOL was the internet.
Wow.
And, when I moved back to New York City and left AOL, I started my own PR firm called The Geek Factory. And we ran, we repped Napster, Juno, all the .com darlings. And, talking to all these journalists, constantly working with them, they'd call me. Hey, Peter, I'm working on a story. You know everyone. Who do you know who does whatever, right? And over time, they just started calling more and more. And so it got to the point where I'm like, all right, there's got to be a better way to do this. There's got to be a better way to help these journalists who need it. And so I launched what at the time was Haro. And that got acquired. And it was going pretty well. It got acquired. And then eventually I'd heard some things that Haro wasn't doing too great and that the company that acquired it wasn't really doing too much of a great job with it. And I'm like, all right, I wonder how else I can do something. I wonder what else I can do with this. And so that led me to launch Source of Sources, and we are now about 22,000 members, I think.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's getting pretty big. I'd like to get even higher. You know, we it's all about advertising for us, and so it's doing well. It's growing, and that's my goal right now.
Yeah, that's
building
huge.
Building it and growing it.
Yeah, I remember when it first came out, Source of Sources, and I signed up right away. I was like, oh, thank God it's back. Like, thank God Peter is back in charge. Because
I've heard that a lot.
Yes, it really went down the tubes. We use it every week, almost every day, and it has been amazing for us. You know, we wouldn't be able to do the show without it. We've gotten amazing guests and amazing contacts.
Yes.
So thank you for everything that you've done, because we would not be able to do the show without it.
I love hearing that. Thank you so much.
So maybe explain to our listeners, either Peter or Shawna, what, you know, they might not know what Harrow is, or like, what are you guys talking about?
Well, SOS, so I can't speak to what Harrow is anymore. It's not mine, but I can tell you what SOS is. SOS is basically a free service that you sign up for. You might know something about something, right? Maybe you're brilliant about bass fishing, or you know everything about the history of the Sopranos, or whatever, right? Everyone's an expert at something. Everyone has knowledge about something that, you know, they might want to share. And so you sign up. It could be your business, right? Maybe you run a dog training program, and, you know, the media is sometimes looking for people who know how to train dogs. They have dog-related questions. So you sign up. A couple of times a day, 2 or 3 times a day, you get an email from journalists asking me, hey, I'm looking for a source who knows about whatever, right? Dog training. Well, if you run a dog training business, wouldn't it be great for your business to be in this reporter's story? So, like I said, it's a free service. You sign up. And you get these emails. If there's an email reporter looking for a dog trainer, you simply reply. The dog trainer then quotes you, might use you in the article. Boom, free press. Great for SEO. It's great for things like that. You know, getting an SEO link, a link back to the New York Times is kind of beneficial.
Yeah. So, for instance, I was featured in an article with Westchester Magazine, and I replied to their query. They were looking for somebody that had a disability, medical issues during COVID, and how COVID impacted my medical well-being and going to the doctors. We weren't allowed to go to the doctors.
Yeah.
So I quoted on that. You know, I wrote about that. They interviewed me, and then I was featured in that article.
And you found this on SOS?
Yes.
Okay.
The old Harrow.
Oh, okay. So just the basic one.
Yeah. So, but now it's called Source of Sources, which is amazing. It's much better. And, you know, I absolutely love it. And, you know, we work with other PR agencies, and I mention you and Source of Sources all the time. You have to sign up for it, because you got to be a part of it. And, you know, it'll really help every business out there. It's
super
not
beneficial.
Just for media. Yeah.
Right. I appreciate that. Yeah, we're trying. You know, it's definitely growing, and it's exciting. It's a lot of fun to watch it sort of come back to life.
Yeah. So where do you see Source of Sources in like 5 years?
Well, my goal is to make it as big as possible. I'd like to become the #1 source repository in the world, just like I did with Harrow. The goal is to make it huge and help people as much as possible. You know, it's for everyone who knows about it. I guarantee you 98.5% of small businesses out there have absolutely no idea about it.
Yeah.
So my goal is to continue to grow it and make it better and see what I can do.
Yeah. Well, we would love to put up a link on our website for it. And definitely promote you as much as we can. And also your book. I think it'll help a lot of people.
Yeah, I'm reading that. I need that before my husband kills me.
Yeah, we'd love that. By all means. Website is sourceofsources.com. And yeah, by all means.
Thank you so much, Peter, for calling in today. Stay in touch. We'd love to help out in any way we can.
Great to be here, guys. Thank you.
So, oh my God, Shawna, I have to tell you about my weekend. So I went out to meet my friend, and I had a busy day. I was at an event. I'm like, let me go pick up dinner at this restaurant. I was there, waiting to order at the bar, talking to my friend, and then this guy comes over to me. And he starts chatting it up with me, blah, 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 just chatting it, shooting the breeze. And he proceeds to, I don't know if he thought he was hitting on me or was going to impress me, but he starts to talk about how he's in his 40s and he can't find a girlfriend. And he knows I'm married, so it's not like he's trying to take me home, but I think he was trying to impress me. I don't know how he can't find a girlfriend.
So you know him?
Yeah, I kind of know him of, he stole my ring on my finger anyway, but like I remember him from like the clubbing days, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So you've seen him out, but you don't really know him.
Yeah. So he proceeds to just say that, like, I can't find a girl. I don't know why. These women today, this, and that. And he goes, just take this instance. Right tonight, I saw this really beautiful girl sitting over at that table, and he points to the table, and he says,
was she there?
No, she was gone at this point. And he's like, she was sitting there by herself. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go talk to her. He said, so I walked over to her table and I said, can I sit here? Is someone sitting here? And the girl said, no one's sitting there. So he's like, I sat down. And we talked for 20 minutes, Lauren. Like, we talked for 20 minutes, he's saying to me. And I'm like, okay. And he goes, and then I had to go get a drink at the bar. So I said, I'll be right back. I'm going to get my drink. And she said, okay. He goes, I went and got my drink. I turned around. She disappeared. And I'm sitting there trying not to laugh, but I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, she disappeared. So I went and tried to find her. And I went outside the restaurant, and there she was with some douchebag guy. So I'm like, oh, all right, maybe that was her man. Maybe no, she didn't have a man. She was talking to some douchebag guy. He goes, you know what I did? I went and sat at the table and waited for her to come back. She was not disappearing on me. And my mind is instantly going to like, that's creepy. Like,
yeah,
come on. You got to read the signs. Even I would read those signs and I'd be like, yeah, all right, this person's not into me. They just disappeared without saying, hey, I'm going to step out for a minute. They ran. As soon as you turned your back, dude, she freaking ran. Come on.
Yeah, really.
Come on. So he said he sat at the table and waited for her for 20 something minutes at her table. She must, I guarantee she was peeking in. Shit, he's still there. Oh, he's still there.
He probably left.
No, she waited. She was ordering food or something. So she had to go to the waitress or the hostess and say, that man is sitting at my table. I don't want him there. I don't want him sitting with me. Can you please handle this? So the waitress I know. I forget it was the waitress or hostess had to come over to him and said, sir, I'm sorry to tell you this, but the woman whose table this is, she does not want you sitting with her. So can you please leave the table? You don't have to leave the restaurant, but you have to leave her table. And he's telling me this guy, as if it's going to be like, oh, dude, like you're right. And you're not stalking and you're not creepy, And he's like, can you believe that? Can you believe it? And I just looked at him. I was like, wow. I said, you should have probably known when she disappeared outside. He's like, I don't know, but I wasn't going to let her do that. So that's why I waited at her table. Say it to my face, he said. Like, okay. So I just couldn't. I'm standing there this whole time and I'm thinking, poor Shawna, because you are in the dating world.
I am.
And this is what's out there.
Yes.
This is what's out there.
Or worse.
And yes, he wasn't the worst, but yeah, you've dealt with worse than that.
I've dealt with way worse. Was he good looking? Is he good looking?
He's not ugly. He's not my type, but
does he have a job?
Yes, he has a job. Oh, yes, he has a job, Shawna. You know how I know this? He made sure to mention it to me multiple times when he was trying to buy me a drink and food, saying, honey, sweetie pie, when you make 3 figures a year, you can buy someone a drink. Because I kept saying, no, thank you. No.
You don't even drink.
I don't drink. I told him that. And I said, no, you're not buying me anything. Honey, sweetie pie, when you make $110,000 a year, money's not a problem for you. He said it so many times, Shawna.
Who does that? Like, who brags about what they make? Do you think he really makes that much?
He probably does. But even still, in today's world, that's not that crazy.
Yeah.
That's not that crazy. That's not like, if he was like, honey, when you make $1 million a year, or when you make $600,000 a year, okay, then I'm like, oh, not that I'm not a money hungry person, but then it's like, oh, wow, you have a good job, Not saying he has a bad job, but the way he said those numbers, first it was 3 figures a year. And I'm like, oh, he must make like 500, 600, 700 grand, 300 grand. And he comes back, the third time around saying, when you make $110,000. All right, that's cool. That's great. Good for you. You have a good job. But don't, I'm married. And he knows what my husband does. Like, if you're trying to impress me, that's not going to work with me. First of all, that never impresses me. I'm not into, me, not into material crap, not into cars, not into fancy stuff. That doesn't impress me. You want to impress me? Say, hey, I'm taking you to Italy for a week, or I'm taking you to the beach.
Well, don't tell him that. He'll have your ticket ready to go.
Let's go, baby. That's how you impress me. Or I'm going to cook for you a really good pasta and steak meal, and I'll be like, oh, thank you. You can be the poorest person, but if you're funny and you can buy me food and feed me and take me on trips, I will fall in love with you. But anyway, so that was I kept saying, poor Shawna, like this is what you have to deal with. I'm so glad I am not in the dating world. I'm so glad I am not single and having to weed out and deal with this.
It is horrendous. And I see other women in groups that are like, hey, I'm recently single, what app is best to go on? And you could just see like the comments, none of them. And then there's me, absolutely none of them. Like, I am just off of them. I'm not on them. And I don't know. I'm just waiting for him to show up at my door, I guess.
I know. You have to like Uber Eats him over, DoorDash him over to your door. And I feel for you. I don't know how I would deal with it nowadays.
Did you get your meal, though?
Oh, I got my meal and he paid for it. I did not ask him to. He pushed and he handed that credit card right over to the waitress. So I'm like,
what did you order?
What did he order for me? Let's see.
Oh, you didn't even get to order?
I ordered, but they didn't have it available. And he, in conversation that night, he had said, "What have you ever ate here? Did you like the food?" I said, "Yeah, I had the duck. It was really good, but the duck is very expensive. It's a very expensive meal. It's good though." And I had told him that in the beginning of the conversation. So then when I ordered my food and they said, "Oh, we don't have that anymore," like I ordered a pork loin or whatever I did, he jumped in and said, "She'll have the duck. Excuse me, she'll have the duck." I said, "No, I don't want the duck. No, she'll have the duck. Here's my credit card. Put it on the card along with her drink. Make her a fruity girly drink, whatever you." And I'm like, "I don't drink." Nope. And the waitress put it all in and there you go. And then when he found out I was taking it to go, oh, he was upset. And I said, "I'll have that to go, please." And he looked, his head whipped around so fast. "To go? You're leaving?" "Yes, I am. And yeah, I'm just getting it to go and I'm going home." "Oh, that's not fun," he said.
No, you say, "Well, I didn't invite you here."
No, we're not on a date. We're not on a date. It's so nice of you. Thank you for using your money that the 3 figures you make to buy me dinner and a drink that I did not drink. I took a few sips to be nice. And then my friend Jackie was next to me. She swiped in, took the drink, chugged it, handed it back to me. And he said, "Did your friend just drink your drink?" "The drink I bought you? Did you give that to your friend?" "Buddy, I told you I don't drink." I gotta go. So, yeah, all you girls out there, my heart goes out to you. I mean,
you insulted him.
I did. I took his money, the food, and I ran. No, my friend yelled at me. She's like, "You're too nice." I'm like, I'm waiting for my food in a small, tight bar. What am I supposed to do?
He kind of like cornered you.
He cornered me and he kept putting his arm around my waist, pulling me in closer. And I'd pull away and he was rubbing my back. I'd pull away. I did all that. And I was like, "Dude, and he's like, "Oh, I just can't hear you," kind of talk in my ear.
I'd be like, "I don't want to talk to you."
So, well, that's what she said I should have said. And it was more just me like 1-word answers and waiting for my food, and talking to my friend Jackie. And every time I talked to her, he'd come in my ear, "Are you talking about me? Is your friend telling you that I'm a creep? Does your friend want me to leave? Am I bothering you and your friend is trying to get you to go away from me? What the hell? I should have turned around and said to him, "This is the problem right here, honey. Let me help you. You want to get a girl? This is 101, not what to do. Do not do any of this. Everything that you did tonight, from even before I got here to the poor girl at the table, do not do that ever again. And then maybe you will get a girl. But right now, no. This is just going to push people away and freak them the hell out, you know?
I would be scared.
Oh, my God.
If that was me, a girl, you know, like somebody came up to my table, I'd be like, why are you sitting with me?
Yeah. Well, he said he asked, and she said, okay. But she probably...
I would have said no.
Because he looked decent. She probably was like, all right. And then once he
opened his mouth and started
talking, yeah, it's like, she probably was like, okay, this is going to be a problem. So, yeah.
Maybe she's too nice like we are.
I'm definitely too nice. I wasn't welcoming it. I wasn't overly friendly. I was kind of like, not like stoic, you know, staring at the bar. Yeah. Oh, well, yeah, okay, yeah. And talking to my friend. So it wasn't like, oh, yeah, oh my God, you're so funny. That's amazing. I wasn't doing that. It just, I wasn't saying, hey, you, F off. That's what my friend would do. Like, F off, get away from me, get the F away from me.
And I'm surprised Jackie didn't step in and say, get away from her.
She kept whispering in my ear, do you want me to step in? Because back in the day, that's what she'd have to do for me. She would have to step in and scream in someone's face, you know. And I said to her, no, I'm an adult now. I got it. But I obviously didn't have it. I just ignored it mainly.
You didn't have it.
I didn't have it. I didn't want to be mean to, because then I get this part of me that's like, I feel bad for people. Like, okay, this guy really needs help here, and I'm just gonna ignore him and not really answer, but I don't want to be mean, like, get the F away from me. That's what Jackie would say. And I feel like that's harsh a little bit. Some people need it.
He needed it.
He might have needed something.
Do you think he's a regular there or no?
I don't know. Maybe a lot of those kind of people are regulars. You know, they're waiting and hoping and praying for that wonderful girl to pull up next to them at the bar and like, hey, how much do you make a year, baby? Oh, wow, 3 figures. Can you buy me a drink and dinner? Oh, yeah. Like, that's what they're hoping for, and we'll see if he gets that one.
Well, you'll have to keep us posted if he's there next time.
I know. I'm going there soon, and we shall see.
You should go with security.
Or Mike.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Hey, you want to buy my husband dinner? Okay, is that fine? Oh, okay, cool. Guess how much he makes a year? Oh, no? All right.
Little does he know, Mike probably shared it with you, the dinner.
Yeah, yep. He had some of that duck, that delicious duck. It was really good. Thank you, Guy. Thank you, Guy from the bar, for buying me that dinner, because it was yummy. It was a little soggy by the time I got home, but it was worth it.
And that's our show. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure to follow us on all social media platforms at Shawna and LaLa. You could follow me on Instagram and TikTok at The Real Shawna May.
And check me out at Bella_Lala125.
And don't forget, we have our baby giveaway, and it is the last few days for you to enter. So make sure to go to our social media pages and enter in on the giveaway, and we will announce the winner this weekend on social media. You're listening to Shawna and LaLa. We will see you next week.